weekend in the Premier League. It's the biggest fixture, probably of the season. I mean, this right now, it's not just the derby that is at stake right now. It's not just about London derby, the pride of London. It's about everything. We're talking about the biggest game probably of the season right now. Arsenal taking on Chelsea. The table toppers, Arsenal, taking on the world champions, Chelsea. And definitely, it's the game to look forward to. It's the game to anticipate. It's a game to preview. And so, of course, we're going to talk about what to expect when it comes to the big game this weekend. Chelsea welcoming Arsenal to Stamford Bridge. You've got Tunde here, and of course, Fahad here. How big is this game today?
It's a big game actually, because aside from the pride of the teams at stake, aside from the devil at stake there, this match is very important even to the fate of the Premier League competition, the league itself, because everybody knows that if Arsenal can get the maximum 3 points from that game, it means to some extent there's a level of certainty that will be there that probably
there's a possibility that Arsenal will be 9 points ahead of
Chelsea. So
Chelsea,
it's still win their game. It's still be 7 points.
Yeah.
But with 7 points at this time of the competition,
just almost halfway into the season.
Yes, it's big. It's a big point, and with the scars on Arsenal's body for the years, for 3 consecutive years being a second, everybody's expecting that if Arsenal could beat that game, then maybe it's Arsenal against Arsenal in the Premier League right now. So a lot of things is at stake actually, and the energy is high. Chelsea just defeated Barcelona, 3 goals to 0 in the Champions League. Arsenal just defeated Bayern Munich. 3 goals to 1. All right, so everything is as the both team are at the top of their games. So we are expecting a fantastic game that day. So everything is at stake. It's going to be.
Well, Fahad, they say just like Tunde has said, they said that when it comes to derby, form is thrown out the window. But this one, there's no need to throw form out of the window because both teams are in form. Chelsea in form, Arsenal in form. So, but then let's talk about the details of the team. This is a team. These are 2 teams where the best departments they have right now. Okay, maybe some Arsenal fans will say defense line is their best department. But for me, I think that midfield is probably the best department. Let's talk about the battle of the midfield for these 2 teams. Caicedo, Enzo, probably Palmer. I mean, we heard that Palmer is in training. He could play on Sunday against most likely Zubimendi, Rice, Eze. I'm not sure Odegaard will come in, to start this one. I think it will still be Eze. I mean, which team are you looking to, win that battle of the midfield?
Well, that battle of the midfield.
There has been so much comparison with Caicedo and Rice. This is where we put it down.
Honestly, to be honest, it's really, I would say I want the particular team to win because you can't really see. When you look at both midfield, they've been fantastic. The duo of Caicedo and Enzo, they've been fantastic. And now, if you come to Arsenal, you see Declan Rice. Eze has slotted in, and he has slotted in the absence of Odegaard perfect, seamlessly. But like they're not actually missing Odegaard again. The both of them, they don't play similar roles. They play different. But
it's still that AM position.
Yeah, that AM position. So it feels like they're not missing Odegaard. And when you look at Zubimendi, he's coming into this side and he's made them not actually miss Thomas Partey. Also,
who's Thomas Partey? Forgotten it.
So if you Rice is always Rice. Rice is always Rice. So he's playing very well. So if you look at it, that midfield for Chelsea and Arsenal. Now let's not forget this match we played at Stamford Bridge. And I think that's one of the things that will give Chelsea the edge over Arsenal. I feel if they can actually if they can do the same thing they did against Barcelona, against PSG that they did all season, make sure the tempo they don't reduce when it comes to tempo, when it comes to marking. Like your Caicedo, it doesn't reduce his tempo. I feel they might just be able to win the game.
No, they like just select the tangible.
Let's talk about the Arsenal setup. It's an issue because injuries are coming in. If you were to set up that Arsenal front line against Chelsea, how would you set up? I mean, usually it used to be Trossard, Merino, Saka.
I don't have the updates regarding Trossard injury.
It's not looking like Trossard will be fit to start.
Then,
So how would you Well, how would you set up? But in place of Trossard, there are two players that are back. Both of them perform well against Bangladesh. So who starts? Martinelli, Madueke. Who starts?
None, Madueke. Madueke, Saka, Merino. You know, and you know, this match, I'm seeing both teams creating an overload in the midfield. Ayeta knows Chelsea midfield.
Is this where Enzo comes back to support Caicedo? Because or do you think that maybe again, although yeah, we still talk about Chelsea more, but then do you think that maybe he would do the Malo Gusto or this James thing?
Yes, I'm seeing him doing something similar, having James, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez in the midfield. Or Gusto, Caicedo. Then as a matter of fact, I'm seeing him playing João Pedro because he wants to use João Pedro to create an overload in the midfield so that to get his superiority. Because meanwhile, Arteta on the other end also be using Mikel Merino to create an overload in the midfield too. You know, people are saying that game to be a very interesting one. I'm saying it's maybe boring but tactical. Because both coaches
tactics.
People
are going for tactics.
Yes, both coaches will be going for tactics because you know, like we said in the previous session we did today, Enzo Maresca know how to profile his opponent and play against such weaknesses. You know, and Arteta is.
But right now, what's even the weakness of Arsenal? We don't know. This is a team that feels like they don't have a weakness.
There's no team with no weakness. At least Sunderland survived. Liverpool got to 3 points with a clean sheet. So
if you look close, if you look very close, you see something.
Yes, you see something definitely. And him playing at home, you know, Sunderland did a lot of things even in their home ground, like keeping, throwing away, taking the ball very close to the line, so that's block thrown. You know, all of those things. Just playing at home, they might not those little details matters. So just also playing at home as a matter of fact. But you know, I'm just saying that game. I know. Whoever is winning that game will scrape out the victory, but definitely no who's winning.
Okay, all right. Fahad, let's talk about Chelsea setup. Right now, it feels like it's good for Enzo Maresca. During the weekend, Jamie Gittin started. You know, he did very well against Barcelona. Garnacho was the one who started on the left wing. You know, he did also you know, considerably well before he was substituted. So let's talk about the Chelsea front line right now. This is a very fluid front line because. But the biggest one I want to start is can Maresca even think of putting Estavio back on the bench after what we just seen against Barcelona? And if Estavio is starting, is it Pedro Neto that goes to the bench? Who goes to the bench?
Well, it's actually a difficult one for Enzo Maresca actually, because if you look at it, everybody wants to say Estavio starts.
Including me.
He wants to bring him in little, but he doesn't want to rush him. He did
See, this guy is ready. If you can hold your own against Barcelona, you are ready.
So aside from rushing the stadium and everything, you know, there's personally based on my observation about Enzo Maresca, I'm not seeing him starting the stadium.
Well, another position we need to talk about definitely is the left wing position. Against during the weekend, it was Jeremy Gittins. He did absolutely well. During the week against Barcelona, it was Garnacho. Garnacho had a decent performance before he was substituted. So there comes the question, who starts on the left? Gittins, Garnacho.
You know, for me, I'll say we will start with Gittins, because when it comes to playing players like Timber is we all know Timber is very good defensively, and Garnacho sometimes find it difficult to actually play against defenders like that. So actually very good defensively, and also they will know how to attack very well. I feel playing against Gittins, who is very pacey, I feel you may want to start Gittins, because that will mean that Gittins Timber will actually have someone to think of, because let's not forget
someone to track him when he's attacking too.
So once they release Gittins, we all know how fast Gittins can be. So I think that will put. I'm not saying Garnacho is slow. Garnacho is not slow actually, but then I feel you having a Gittins over there will actually put Timber on his toes. Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing Garnacho starting. You know, aside from, even if we check head-to-head the impact they've made this season, Garnacho is ahead of Gittins, and also looking at the experience in the Premier League, Garnacho has faced this team with Manchester United several times, and he has been having a decent performances each time. So I believe, this type of match, at times it's not about your attribute, it's about tactically what you can present, because it's like a warfare, so and Arsenal has been dominating this fixture for the past 3 or 4 years. So Enzo Maresca would want to put, at least at the starting 11, the best available resources he has in his team. So I'm seeing Garnacho ahead of Gittins, So ahead.
And let's talk about the number 9. I mean, he has Delap, he has João Pedro. What kind of striker will fit? Because there are two strikers that have different profiles. Delap is the traditional number 9. João Pedro is the one that can do other things. The Isaac kind of number 9. What profile of striker will fit this kind of game?
Being an Arsenal fan, I prefer use Delap. But tactically, you have to start Pedro, because Pedro can do several other things aside from being a number 9. He can create space, he can manage space, he can draw up play, and he can also create an overload in the midfield by dropping deep. So all of these details are things Maresca also knows. But when it comes to having a box striker, that's only the thing Delap can do: hold up play and several others. So, and Arsenal is not a team that whenever they're attacking, they'll forget the defense line. And with that attribute, if he's starting Delap, I don't see Delap being much of a threat than Pedro. So though as an Arsenal fan, I prefer start Delap. But Pedro will surely start.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about prediction right now. Who wins? Well, I'll start with Tunde, even though I know where Tunde is most likely going to tilt.
You were saying Fofana is solid, this is solid. If their defense is solid, corner will come. If corner is not converted, free kick was also there. So, and Sanchez will also give us goal. There are a lot of factors that will give us now goals in this match. Sanchez.
It's been a long time Sanchez considered actually.
So Sanchez is becoming solid, especially.
He hasn't faced Bukayo Saka. He hasn't faced Madueke. He has faced Eze.
He has faced Lewandowski.
He hasn't faced Eze. He hasn't faced that. He hasn't faced Mikel Arteta's army.
He faced the PSG attack.
The PSG attack. That was during preseason now. Preseason World Cup now.
Yeah, it's not preseason.
He came out on top 3-0.
Okay, let's wait and see now, because Sanchez will concede at least 2 goals.
Okay, so your prediction.
2-0. Let's pity them.
You go to Stamford Bridge.
And
pity them by beating them 2-0.
Because we love them, they are our brothers, we are neighbors. So we don't want to disgrace them. I did they've been stubborn with us and things like that. Would have banged them like 4 or 5, but for the past 3-4 years they've been good to us, giving us 4 points, 6 points every season. So they've been good boys, and they've been giving us players. They are good boys. So just give them 2-0 sharp.
I know that I cannot trust Tunde's because there is only one way we would say. But so Fahad, detached from this objectively, how do you think this game?
Well, it's at Stamford Bridge, and we know how Chelsea play at Stamford Bridge. I think the support of the fans will actually come to play as well. But then I don't see Arsenal losing. But then this match it falls down to the fact that who can actually keep the tightest defense in this game.
I think we know who that team is.
Well, Chelsea they've not considered in a very long time too as well. So it comes about both defense, and we've been complaining, the defense is this, defense is that, and it's been a long time they've considered. Sanchez, I think he has one lesser clean sheet than
the Premier League.
So you can see that
both goalkeepers are
there, and Sanchez is also, I think, one on top of his game as well. So if you look at it, feels like Chelsea, their defense is coming up, and Arsenal, they have one of the tightest defense in the league. But then, who can actually defend more? Who can concede less?
And what do you think that is?
I'm going with Chelsea. I'm going with the Chelsea 2-1 win, actually.
Wow, a Chelsea 2-1 win. Honestly, you won't put it past Chelsea. I mean, they beat Liverpool, they beat Barcelona, they beat PSG. At this point, you won't direct Chelsea at your own peril. But of course, Arsenal being who they are, I guess it's going to be a game that we'll just have to find out. Is it going to be Arsenal? Is it going to be Chelsea? Is it going to be somewhere in between? Maybe a draw. I guess we'll find out. How do you think this game will go down? Chelsea at Stamford Bridge will come in Arsenal. Let us know in the comment section.